On the news, Labour declares strike over new minimum wage and electricity tariff hike. Abba Kyari released after 27 months in detention. And Nigerians react to President Tinubu's reversion to old national anthem. It's a pleasure to have you join us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkwulie. The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and Trade Union Congress TUC have declared a nationwide strike beginning from Monday, June 3, 2024, over the Tripartite Committee's inability to agree on a new minimum wage and hike in electricity tariff. The president of the TUC, Festus Osifo, announced the strike at a joint news conference with the leadership of the NLC in Abuja. According to the Labour leaders, the decision follows the expiration of an earlier request to the federal government to conclude all negotiations for a new minimum wage before the end of May. The organized Labour had once pulled out of the negotiation and rejected two federal government offers, the latest being 60,000 naira. They are insisting on 497,000 naira as the new minimum wage.
We are hereby declaring the commencement of a nationwide industrial action, a nationwide strike, effective from Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And this strike shall be indefinite. And this strike shall be on until we have a new national minimum wage, until government is serious and also the tariff increment in electricity is reversed. We are united on this. We believe that this is the way forward. We believe this is the time, as we have done over the years, to consistently stand with the working class of Nigeria, because they have been battered and they have been downtrodden the way it has been from May 29th till date. So, comrades, gentlemen of the press, that is actually our stand on this.
So I think what we should be praying for the people who are suffering so much, and those are some of our people. That was why we were reluctant. That was why we were virtually, telling them, let's find a solution. We in the meeting today, and we told them we have to be here and allow you to go and get mandate. We are ready to sleep here to allow you to get mandate to come back to this meeting. They say no, we should just allow them whenever they get mandate. That it is difficult to see even president, that they don't have access and all that. And then they didn't come out with it. We found ourselves in a helpless situation. So that is where we are now. So everybody should be patient with us while we embark on this.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, MAN, Ajayi Kadri, has confirmed that the organized private sector concurred with the federal government that the new minimum wage should be 60,000 naira. The MAN president explained that the ongoing negotiation between the government and the private sector with labor are not about a living wage but a minimum wage, the lowest amount that can be paid to any worker in the country. According to Kadri, the economic environment has been challenging for both labor and private businesses, making it nearly impossible for them to pay the wage the labor union is demanding. Speaking further, Ajayi said there are massive constraints on part of both the government and the private sector to fulfill the proposed 497,000 living wage labor request. He said the private sector, for instance, is faced with economic challenges and inflation, making it impossible to pay such amount. He also explained that this is not the most appropriate time for the organized labor to negotiate a new minimum wage, but to work together with other invested stakeholders to build the economy together. President Bola Tinubu has criticized state governors over what he termed an overbearing influence on the administration of local government councils in the country. According to the president, issues of accountability and ineffectiveness hinder the growth of local council authorities, and state governors must be held accountable. His criticism comes barely few days after the federal government sued the 36 state governors over the local government autonomy. Now, taking a swipe at the governors, Tinubu Tinubu said during elections, local governments become key to taking in votes, but soon after the polls, the governors concentrate at the center.
Dear brothers and sisters, yes, I am in charge here today, but you are running a constitutional democracy. I will appeal to you to summon the governors. Summon them, call them up. I'm doing my best to improve the revenue of the country and giving them their due. But they must equally be sympathetic to the populace, and they must consider the need of the local people. People reside in the local government. People are in the local community. That is where they reside. That is where they feed. That is where they garden. That is where they cook. That's where they farm. If the local government are not free, and the leaders don't hang on to the number. We have 774 local government. It's just a number. Is it effective? Is it reaching the real people? Who is being held accountable for this money?
Reacting to the recent call for grant of full autonomy to local government, legal expert Evans Ufeli expressed strong support, asserting that this change will foster development at the grassroots level. Ufeli said the governor should not oversee certain matters because they lack the proximity to the people that local government chairmen and councillors have. He further explained that the limited power previously held by local government chairmen have led citizens to turn to governors for local issues, highlighting the necessity of this autonomy.
You see, when we need to have things done, we're not supposed to be calling the governor. We're supposed to call on our local government chairman and our councillor. The councillor of the local government is actually the legislative arm of the local government. The councillors put together, they see. Just like Nigeria, we have made mess of it. They are the lawmakers of that local government. Why the local government chairman is takes the executive part of it, okay? And we are at a point where the governors have, strangled and reduced local governments to almost nothing, so that they now use them as political thugs. I mean, those who are supposed to occupy those offices, use them as the caretaker committee, use them as persons who are now compensated if they are not able to get a role as a commissioner and all that. The local government, you ask your question goes, why are the governors working against this local government when they know that if the local government succeeds, the governor that succeeds? What it means is that the governors do not care about the mandate of the people. They do not care about the grassroots people, whether development gets to them or not. Otherwise, they should be able to do that. Like in the United States of America, local government own and run airports. Local government own and run seaports. Okay? So if you have a semblance of that here, you will find out that development will now take, a route from down up.
The decision by the government to revert to the old national anthem in Nigeria has sparked a range of reactions among Nigerians, some of whom have labeled the move as a misplaced priority. President Bola Tinubu assented to the National Anthem Bill 2024, reverting to the old national anthem Nigeria We LD on Wednesday, May 29, which it says speaks more about the unity of Nigerians. Now, this next report weighs the opinions of some Nigerians. It's been close to decades since the national anthem, Nigeria We LD, written by British expatriate Lillian Jane Williams in 1959 and composed by Frances Breda, was dropped for the one popularly known as Arise O Compatriots. But 46 years after it was dropped, the government has reinstated it as the country's anthem, Gone is the Swan. President Bola Tinubu gave his accent to the National Anthem Bill 2024 a day after it was passed by both chambers of the National Assembly. The federal lawmakers passed the bill at an unusual speed. The new anthem was even played publicly for the first time at a joint legislative section attended by Tinubu, who marked his 1 year in office as president on Wednesday, May 29.
Of all the significant things we have done, I think one of the most profound is to take us back to our genealogy, the genealogy of our birth, that though we may belong to different tribes, though we may have different tongues, in brotherhood we all stand. Henceforth, we will not refer to ourselves as just mere compatriots. We will refer to ourselves as brothers. And as we go forth in battle, whether on the field of sports, in the field of politics, in economic endeavors, we must hail Nigeria.
You cannot say that Nigerians don't have more than 250 ethnic nationalities. And those people, when they were doing that national anthem, they knew that Nigeria had so many languages and tribes, and they encouraged us with that stanza. Even though we are from different tribes and speak different tongues, let us be united in brotherhood.
But across the country, opinions are divided on the readoption of the old anthem.
We are not in school again. It's only the children that are in school that is going to participate on that. But our priority is not national item. I think the National Assembly have to sit up on what they are doing. They should go to their constituency and know the problems, the nitty-gritty of what their constituency is looking for.
What I expected the President of Ahmed Bola Tinubu should be thinking about is how to restructure the country. The country has been suffering from so many problems. And one of the things that can make the country to go in a good direction is structure.
What happened to the national anthem that we are reciting before? Is it the prayers in the old national anthem that we referred to now, that we're going to better Nigeria? That we hand our children a banner that does not have stain?
Whatever at the end of the day you want to now then do a plebiscite for national anthem, also tells us there's something fundamentally wrong in our unity as Nigerians. We are not united in agreeing at anything, and it's unfortunate. But we now need, in my honest opinion, a very strong voice, somebody who is a master officer, yes, can make mistakes along the line, and we can continue to correct. He must continue to listen. He must continue to tweak and change. May not necessarily be the best, but better than not doing anything at all.
For me, if you ask me, it sounds more like an indigenous anthem that speaks to our values as Nigerians, unlike the new anthem that has become abrogated now, which was more of a cosmopolitan, you can say it was more of a elitist, modern, anthem. So the old anthem is like we are going back into our past. that is the way I see it.
The anthem has already come into operation and people are already learning it. The Senate Committee on Army has condemned the heinous and cowardly attack on the troops of Operation Udoka at the Obi-Kabia Junction checkpoint Aba in Abia State on 30th of May 2024 during the Biafra Remembrance Day. According to a statement by the Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Edward Buba, the assault was carried out by IPOB/ESN terrorists, resulting in the tragic loss of 5 personnel of the armed forces. The military also confirmed the loss of 6 civilian lives in the crossfire. Now, reacting in a statement signed by its chairman, Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, on Saturday, the Senate Committee on Army said the attack is an affront to peace and security of Nigeria. And suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari has been released from the Kuje Custodial Center in the Federal Capital Territory after spending 27 months in detention. Kyari was detained following his arrest on February 14, 2022 by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for alleged involvement with an international drug cartel. Kyari, along with 4 members of the Police Intelligence Response Team, were arraigned on March 7, 2022. Now, on May 2022-2024, Judge Emeka Nwete granted Kyari bail to allow him conclude the burial rites of his mother, Yachila Kyari, who died on May 5th. The court scheduled May 31st, 2024 for the hearing on Kyari's main application for bail about the drug trafficking charges. Now, giving updates, the spokesperson of the Nigerian Correctional Service of the Federal Capital Territory Command, Adamu Duza, confirmed that Kyari met his bail conditions and was released on Friday. And scores of activists took to the streets of Lagos on Saturday, demanding an end to what is described as the misuse of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) platform to target perceived enemies by opposition forces. The activists criticized the persistent calls for anarchy in a democratic setting by individuals whose investigations revealed they were working for known opposition figures in Kogi State. They urged the EFCC to disregard these sponsored and desperate calls and to uphold the rule of law. They argued that this demand showed ignorance of the rule of law and were attempts by desperate political actors to tarnish the Commission's integrity.
Governorship candidate of SDP in Kogi State, the person of Muri Ajaka, called for state of emergency in the state because they have not the wound. They are not out of the electoral trauma that they went to. They are trying every means. These oppositions are putting every resources together just to cause anarchy in the state, so that the federal government can declare a state of emergency in Kogi State. We are saying that, look, EFCC, you have to do your job. We are not saying you shouldn't do your job, but I must tell you this, that look, we should not politicize EFCC. We should always obey the rule of law. Somebody that you have arraigned in court that has a date to show up at the court. I don't know why the oppositions in the state are trying everything possible to bring the former governor Yaya Bello down.
We'll go on a break here, but still to come, Israel's Prime Minister says no ceasefire in Gaza until Hamas is destroyed. Details of this story after this break. Welcome back. Now a quick recap of our headline stories. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and Trade Union Congress (TUC) have announced the nationwide strike starting Monday, June 3, 2024, due to the tripartite committee failure to agree on a new minimum wage and an increase in electricity tariff. TUC's President Festus Osifo revealed this at a joint conference in Abuja, citing the expiration of a prior request to the federal government to finalize negotiation by the end of May. The labor unions, having previously rejected two government offers, including the latest proposal of 60,000 naira, are demanding a new minimum wage of 497,000 naira. We also told you that the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, have been released from the Kuje Custodial Center in the Federal Capital Territory after 27 months of detention. Kyari was initially detained following his arrest on February 14, 2022 by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for alleged involvement with an international drug cartel. Adamu Duza, the spokesperson of the Nigerian Correctional Service of the Federal Capital Territory Command, confirmed that Kyari met his bail conditions and was released. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime's World TV and AVO TV. Or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. Or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And on business, the African Development Bank AFDB Group has approved a substantial increase in capital, totaling $107 billion, aimed at bolstering support for Nigeria and other nations across the continent. President of AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, announced the decision at the conclusion of the 2024 annual meetings held in Nairobi. Adesina says this increase reflects the confidence shareholders have in the bank's ability to utilize resources effectively and mobilize additional capital, expanding its capacity to address developmental challenges. He also said that the approved capital increase marks a significant boost for the AFDB, alleviating its authorized general capital from $201 billion to $318 billion. Still on business, in a bid to strengthen friendly ties between Pakistan and Lagos State, the High Commissioner of Pakistan, retired Major General Sohail Ahmad Khan, paid a visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Now, during the meeting, Governor Sanwo-Olu highlighted the similarities between Lagos and Karachi, both vibrant and bustling metropolises. He expressed optimism about exploring various sectors for collaboration to enhance business relations between Pakistan and Lagos State. Now, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu underscored the significance of this partnership, saying both regions stand to benefit greatly from strengthening economic and cultural ties.
There has been a mutual cooperation since quite some time, and trade between the two countries, unfortunately, it has not kicked off the way we wanted it to be. But we are still looking forward to, and we want to begin or renew our newfound relationship starting from Lagos State, and that is what I'm looking forward to. And I would request you and your staff to actually, we require your blessing, Excellency, and your support and your sponsorship and facilitation extended by your staff and your people in the government to extend support to my trade office, and we proceed. In fact, I am looking at some stage making Karachi is our port city. Some people say Karachi is like Lagos. So I would like in future, at some stage, Lagos and Karachi become sister cities, symbolically to present to the world that Nigeria and Pakistan are moving together in their economic uplift.
There is a Commissioner for Trade, Investment, Trade and Commerce, Trade and Investment. She's here, so that we can sit and see areas of collaboration, conversations around ease of doing business, which sector, can we both, trade on, improve upon, you know, and just encourage, you know, business to business or government to business, you know, relationship. So, I mean, they are here and we can take this relationship forward. It's true that, I mean, Lagos is bustling like Karachi, you know, it's a port city, you know, and it's really, really massive.
And on the global scene, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reaffirmed that there will be no permanent ceasefire in Gaza until Hamas military capabilities are dismantled and all hostages are released. This statement follows U.S. President Joe Biden's announcement of Israel's proposed three-stage plan aimed at achieving lasting peace. A senior Hamas official indicated willingness to consider the deal if Israel reciprocates. However, clashes persist in Rafah, with report of Israeli airstrike over the weekend. Netanyahu's office reiterated Israel's condition for ending the conflict, emphasizing the need to neutralize Hamas military threat and secure the release of hostages. Marianne Shields Robinson, the mother of Michelle Obama, who moved with the first family to the White House when son-in-law Barack Obama was elected president, has died at age 86. She died peacefully on Friday. The former First Lady and her brother Craig Robinson and their families announced in a statement. Besides being the mother of the nation's first black First Lady, Robinson was also unusual for being one of the few in-laws who lived at the White House with the president and his immediate family. And on sports, Dortmund coach Edin Terzic remains optimistic ahead of the Champions League final against Real Madrid at Wembley Stadium, believing anything is possible. Real Madrid heavily favored to win their 15th European title versus a Dortmund team that has defied expectations to reach this stage. Terzic emphasized the importance of enjoying the moment while also acknowledging the pressure of the occasion and the potential for disappointment. And still on sport, France came from behind to beat England 2-1 in Newcastle in a pivotal Women's Euro 2025 qualifiers on Friday, while Jenny Hermoso scored as world champion Spain 1-0 in Denmark. Reigning European champions, England scored first through Beth Mead, but France equalized before halftime and took the lead in the second half with goals from Elsa Di Almeida and Marie Antoinette Katoto. This secured a 2-1 victory and maintaining their top position in Group 3 of League A, positioning them well for the next year's European Championship in Switzerland. And that's all we have on news now. Thank you for watching. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye.